X-Men versus Street Fighter!
The handshake that saved the world. You've just gotta love that. X-Men vs. Street Fighter was the first of its kind, at least from Capcom. They took the characters from their popular Street Fighter Alpha or Zero series, as it's called in Japan, and mixed them with the characters from X-Men Children of the Atom. It was originally released in arcades in 1996, with a Saturn version following in 1997, and finally a horrendous PlayStation version in 1998. Sadly, the Saturn version was never released outside of Japan because by 1997, the president of Sega of America, the genius that he was, had already declared that the Saturn was, and I quote, not the future of the company. And that pretty much killed all the North American support for the console when developers were like, yeah, okay, if you have no faith in your console, well, neither will we. Wasn't that nice of him? So basically the Saturn fans in North America got the shaft, which you could already see coming by the time that announcement was made. Anyways, X-Men vs. Street Fighter is a tag team based fighter where players can swap characters in and out of a match at any given time. Each team has one super special move that can be activated once the power meter has sufficient stock. Doing this move essentially takes the most powerful move from both characters and unleashes it on their opponent at the same time. Obviously, from what you're seeing, unlike the Marvel vs. Capcom series, most of the movesets here are far less exaggerated. As you can tell from the video, I've selected a wide assortment of characters, some of which I completely suck with. Okay, most I completely suck with. Just to give you guys as great a variety as possible. The game features 16 selectable fighters, 8 of which are from the X-Men universe and 8 from the Street Fighter series. The Street Fighter characters are all based off of their Street Fighter Alpha or Zero 2 models, and the X-Men characters are based off their Children of the Atom models, which were actually taken from the 1990s X-Men cartoon, which was inspired by the Jim Lee's newly designed, at least at the time, X-Men series. You got all that? Bottom line is, this was one of the most visually impressive games released in 1997, and one that holds up surprisingly well today. I mean, just look at the detail in the animations here. It's really, really impressive. Okay, one of the biggest concerns I do have with the game is the fact that it is extremely button masher friendly. If you go up against a noob, the chances are the noob was gonna just wipe the floor with you if they just start, moving the joystick around like a lunatic and pressing all these different button combinations. Obviously, a pro is able to, hold their own, and this actually, believe it or not, is an extremely defensive fighter because not only are there counters in it, but you can block pretty well everywhere. So at the time, if you watched pros play this game, you'd see it's not as offensive as something as like the King of Fighters or even as Street Fighter, and that is by and far the biggest criticism that the game has today. And it's also a little bit unbalanced. Some of the characters just don't work quite as well as others, and it is possible to cheat the system and basically come up with perfect teams where you'll be pretty well like untouchable. Okay, so now I'm going to sound like a huge Saturn fanboy here, but who cares? One note that I need to make here is that if you're going to look for this game, you have to look for the Saturn version. The PlayStation version is just not an option. The Saturn version actually shipped with a 4 megabyte RAM cartridge, and today it costs around $50 on eBay to purchase. And you absolutely need that RAM cartridge to play the game. That's right, the Saturn needed a little bit of help in pumping out these stunning visuals. Now, let's go back to the PlayStation version here. you guys should all just pretend it doesn't exist. The PlayStation version, number one, the PlayStation itself doesn't have the same amount of RAM as the Saturn did. And obviously, it didn't have a RAM expansion pack or anything like that. So what does this mean? Well, it means that the PlayStation version, all of the characters, their frames of animations were reduced, sometimes being cut by as much as half. Like, for example, the Juggernaut, he basically stands there. He doesn't breathe, he doesn't do anything. It's just really, really ugly. All of the backgrounds have a washed out appearance to them, so they don't have the vibrant detail and coloring you see here. And the biggest blasphemy is the fact that they took out the tag team feature. I mean, how can you do that? Seriously, how the hell can you take out the one feature that sold the game? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Anyways, but thanks to what the Sega of American president said, I mean, this game just did not have a chance in North America because the Saturn was already dead at the time. It's just, it's a real shame that that happened.
Let's go.
I thought you guys would just like to hear a little bit of the voice acting, but all the voice actors, for at least for the X-Men, were from that awesome 1990s X-Men cartoon. It was just so wicked. Look at this background. I mean, seriously, just look at this game. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's such a shame that so many people didn't get a chance to experience this. So if you are looking for this game, your best bet is to pick up an Action Replay Plus cartridge. I'll be reviewing that shortly, probably the next video I actually do. But long story short, the cartridge costs about like $30, something like that, and it bypasses the region encoding on your Saturn, and it also has a built-in 4 megabyte RAM card. So you basically get the best of all worlds. I'll jump into more detail on that in the other video, but I can't stress this enough. If Sega of America had kept their mouth shut about the future of the Saturn, or what they envision the future of the Saturn, and instead focused their attention on bringing over incredible arcade-perfect ports like this, the Saturn would have had a very different outcome. X-Men vs. Street Fighter is a perfect 2D showpiece for anyone looking into getting into Saturn gaming today. Pick up a Virtua Stick, an Arcade Replay Plus cartridge, and a copy of this game, and prepare for absolute blast. It'll offer hours of entertainment, and like I said, yes, it is a little bit unbalanced, and yes, it is button masher friendly, but it holds up well. It really, truly does. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll be back with another review of a timeless classic shortly. Thanks again.
Object blast. Yes. Shoryuken. Shinku Hadouken. Yes. Split boom. Yes. Shinku Hadouken. Yes. Split boom. Yes. Shoryuken. Split boom. Split boom. Split boom. Split. Shinku